Good evening, students. This is Mr. Cook on the big screen. Today we're going to be venturing into the next section of this unit that's going to deal with human impact in the natural world. And we're going to do this in a different way to start off this lesson. This lesson's broken into about 5 different parts, and essentially the end product is going to be a project and a presentation that you will work on individually as well as in a group. The first 2 parts of this lesson are introducing kind of the project that you're going to be creating at the end, and we are going to do it in a different way than you guys are usually accustomed to. This new method of teaching is called a flipped classroom model. Some of you might have had experience with it before. And in a flipped classroom model, essentially what you're doing is doing the classwork stuff that you would do during the day, like taking notes, learning about a concept, and you're going to do that at night. And that will prepare you for the next day, where you'll come in and do the independent activity like the homework. And you will practice and apply and discuss those ideas with the assistance of your peers and teachers. So the first 2 steps or phases of this lesson that you guys are going to venture into this week, we are going to do using a flipped classroom model. So today, at the end of class, you received a worksheet that you're going to use with this video tonight for your homework, or I should say your classwork. This worksheet looks like this. It's a bunch of questions that you guys will be utilizing as you read an article about the phenomena that you guys are going to investigate. So what you're going to do is you should be on the Haiku page that this video is on, and if you aren't, for some reason, you should be scrolling down to the assignments tab, to the Unit 3 notebook, and then underneath that, the Urban Heat Islands Phenomena Project. And you're going to click on the one that says Roof Design Challenge. And this page is what you're going to be utilizing for the next couple weeks, especially the next couple evenings as you guys do the flipped classroom model. Where you're going to go tonight is you're going to go to this article called the OC Warming article, and you're going to bring that up, and you're going to read this article and follow along with the questions and answer them to the best you can. If you can't answer it, don't worry, but answer as many as you can. And what this article is going to do is introduce you to this phenomena that you guys are going to be learning about called an urban heat island. And this article I chose is called OC Warming. So it's actually really relevant to the county that you guys live in. So you'll read this article, you'll answer the questions, and then what I would like you guys to do on the back is create a few additional questions of things that you didn't understand from the article, maybe a concept or a term or a section of it, or maybe you didn't understand one of the questions you had to answer, but I'd like you to create at least 3 additional questions that you're going to bring to the table. And then tomorrow, when you guys get to class, you're going to be broken into your collaborative table groups, and you guys are going to review and discuss this article as a team. Talk about what the article talks about, the phenomena. You're going to discuss the questions that you guys answered and compare your answers and see if you guys came up with the same ideas. And then you're going to share out the additional questions that you guys had and see if anybody at your table can answer them. And then once each table group is done, then we're going to open up the discussion to the classroom, and we're going to compare your answers across the class. So we're going to review the article, go over the questions, and then I'll have each group share out one of their additional questions to see if other tables can answer that question as well. And this will finish off part 1 of your lesson, your flipped classroom model. And this will hopefully introduce you to the phenomenon and give you a basic understanding of what it is. And then at the end of class tomorrow, we will lead into part 2. So I will give you the second piece, which is our research notes. Okay. And this will be the second part of the flipped classroom model that you guys will watch tomorrow night. but we're gonna start this at the end of class because the first section involves developing some questions that will help focus your research on this phenomenon. So as a group, you guys will discuss what kind of questions are you gonna need to answer or think of as you guys do research to learn about how to design and build a solution to this problem. And that's gonna be the end product. So you're gonna wanna keep that in mind, that you're gonna actually be designing brainstorming and designing a solution, and then creating a model to represent that and presenting it as a class, to the class in your groups. So the research questions start off with getting you to familiarize yourself with what the phenomena is and how it works. So you're gonna think of questions in a group, write them down, and that will lead you in your research tomorrow night for the flipped classroom model that you guys will do tomorrow night. So this wraps up part one of the flipped classroom model. When you guys are done, I will see you tomorrow, and you're gonna start here on this video for part two. Good evening, students. It's Mr. Cook again. Welcome back to the flipped classroom model, lesson part number 2. Today in class, we reviewed the article that you guys read last night and the questions, both in group collaboration and discussion, as well as throughout the class. And then we also talked about a few of the additional questions that you guys had about the article and the phenomena itself of the urban heat island effect. And then at the end of class, I gave you guys the worksheet research notes for part 2, and you guys got a chance to start part 2 during class for the first section, which involved coming up with questions that you think you're going to need to answer in order to be able to successfully and efficiently design and create a solution to the problem. Those questions should be a focus for your research that you're going to do tonight. After watching this video, I'm going to introduce to you the areas of the focus or the pieces of information that you guys are going to look at to do your research. And then you guys are going to collect your data as far as the information that you will need, and look at the questions that you've come up with and see, are those questions being answered by some of the research that you're doing? And then you're going to finish doing your research. And then tomorrow when you guys come in, we will spend a few minutes in class wrapping up what research you didn't finish, and also allowing you guys to collaborate together at your table on the research and see if you guys were finding some of the same information that is needed. And then of course, tomorrow's independent activity after that, which is what will lead into part 3. So this is part 2, it'll lead into the independent activity, which is part 3. And that'll be taking your research and actually brainstorming a solution, an idea that you have to help combat the effects of the urban heat island phenomenon. So tonight, with your research notes, you're gonna go again to this page where you're at watching this video, my Haiku page. We're going to again scroll down to the Unit 3 notebook and the urban heat island effect and roof design. And like I said before, make sure you guys glance at the whole project so you can get a bigger picture of what's going on, okay, as far as the end product and what you're gonna have to do. And for your research, what I would like you guys to quickly do is, the first thing is I want you guys to look at these 3 very short videos, just adding a little bit of pieces of information about the urban heat island effect. One is on electromagnetic energy from the sun, one's on the albedo effect and warming, and one's on urban heat islands itself. And they're all pretty short. And then you guys are gonna scroll down, and looking at your research notes, which again is this page, you're gonna go section by section, okay? And the first section is you're gonna look and take notes on a video called Cool Roofs. And that's this first video. Again, it's only a few minutes. So you're just gonna watch it, take some notes, and think of the details. Think of the things that you're gonna need to know to be able to build a model, a solution to this problem, and things that relate to the questions you were asking. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to look at this article. This is a technical article on what urban heat islands are. And so that'll be the second part of your notes. that you'll take tonight. So you'll just do some basic notes from the article that you feel are important. And then the last two pieces is one, another video, a few little minutes on an experiment on the effects of color. So you're going to watch this and take some notes on that. And then the final piece will be you're going to access a gizmo on heat absorption and play around with this lab investigation online and interact with the pieces just to get the information that you need. You don't need to worry about doing the worksheets, just the information you need from this gizmo and fill in your research notes. And that will be the end of what you need to do to research the information that you will need to successfully design, build, and create this model. And that'll lead into the final product, which is putting together a Google presentation with your group on your guys' research and your designs. So tonight, finish up the research notes. Tomorrow we'll review, and then we'll get into part 3, which is brainstorming your solutions. Have a good night, you guys.